Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode 45 of Buds and Blue Jays. I'm your host, Jesse Burrell, and I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Riley McConnell. And Riley, our Toronto Blue Jays just finished a four-game weekend series, winning 3 out of 4, just like we thought they would against the Detroit Tigers. And a trade deadline is less than 48 hours away, Riley, so it's a very busy time to be a Toronto Blue Jays fan. But hey, with John Schneider bringing a DJ into the clubhouse, with reports coming out tonight that the Blue Jays are having a beach party down in Tampa, I thought it was a good time. Let's get a little loose. Let's get a little festive. I even pulled out the pineapple shirt here, a little beach wear as we cruise and we're sailing into the summer months here for the Blue Jays season.
Hey, man, and that pineapple shirt is looking sharp as hell, brother. I'm sure Lourdes would love that. The guys would love that. I'm surprised you're not in Florida with them now.
Yeah, honestly.
I'm sorry you didn't get the nod, Jesse. You're looking good, man. And you're feeling good. I'm feeling good. It's good for the boys to be light. Don't go too crazy having a party time, but, be safe. Just have fun. Still a lot of ball to play, but it's good that they're celebrating, man.
Yeah, they're people too. They need to relax, and they should be able to celebrate the hot run they've been on. I think they're 12-3 in their last 15 games, so absolute nails. But Riley, big news: the trade deadline, as mentioned, is 48 hours away, and I almost guarantee you this team is going to look different than it does right now. So we haven't had any breaking news or any trades yet. You just kind of know as soon as we record this episode, there's going to be a few. That's just how this works. But until those reports come out, and obviously if something goes down while we're recording, we'll break it on the air here. Let's talk about some of the rumors that have kind of circulated over this little bit and see what your thoughts are on any of these.
Yeah, let's see what's going on, Jesse. It's time. 48 hours. So one of these has got to be at least close to happening within the next 24 hours, I would think.
Just because the Blue Jays have interest in a player or they've shown like they're intrigued by someone, it doesn't mean that they're going to be on the team. But where there's smoke, there's fire, right? So we can kind of link things together here. So my first thought here, Riley, is that the Blue Jays had scouts at Pablo Lopez's most recent start today. And the Blue Jays have liked Pablo Lopez in the past, and we've seen Ross Atkins and Mark Shapiro circle back on guys they've previously liked that haven't been able to get. Kevin Gausman was one of those guys, for example. The Jays wanted him for quite a while, and then they circled back when he became available. I'm trying to think of another obvious answer, but I feel like there is one. And this would be one of those guys that the Blue Jays have been interested in and that they'd come back to. And to make things more intriguing, just before you get in there, is that Miami had scouts at New Hampshire Fisher Cats watching the Fisher Cats game. And Orelvis Martinez is not in the lineup for the game in New Hampshire today. So is there something brewing here with Pablo Lopez and the Toronto Blue Jays?
I mean, listen, baseball's a game of coincidences, but I don't think this is a coincidence, man. I mean, you sit a guy out of the lineup, you want him to be valuable for a trade. We got guys in Miami watching Lopez pitch. I mean, that's pretty obvious to me. And yeah, who are we looking for, Jesse? We're looking for a starting pitcher, clearly. And like you said, I think I mentioned Skubal, and I think he would be one of the guys that the GMs on our side have looked at the past, more or less. But if they've been interested in Lopez and they've sent scouts to watch him pitch, and vice versa, having the Marlins send people up to New Hampshire, I think there's a pretty good chance, man. So is Orelvis Martinez leaving the Jays organization? A promising young star like that? Possibly. It's not the end of the world for us in our farm system. It won't break us. However, I think acquiring a guy like Pablo Lopez or Pablo Lopez himself will do great things for this man. We're pretty much in August. We'll just say we're in August, man. 2 months of the year left. If we get him in our rotation, I think it's really going to increase our chances to make a ride in the postseason.
I don't want to speculate too much because it could all just be smoke and mirrors. Maybe Miami chooses to keep the guy, or maybe something doesn't happen. For what it's worth, Pablo Lopez did give up 6 earned runs in 2 2/3 innings today during that start. So I don't know. Maybe Pablo Lopez is just doing one of these, I don't want to be traded, so I'm going to have a bad outing here. Or maybe it's just one of those coincidences you were talking about that vagrants in baseball so much. But another starting pitcher that was reported that the Blue Jays were very close to was one that we've talked about for months, Riley, and that's Frankie Montas. It said the Blue Jays were one of 3 finalists there, along with the Cardinals, and I believe the Yankees were the other team that were kind of bidding for Frankie Montas. Now, that was reported by JP Morosi, and Morosi's kind of been the whipping boy for agents and stuff to kind of leak information to him to build some tension. So maybe they know the Jays are interested and they're trying to get the Jays to bid more because they're against the Yankees, or maybe it's vice versa. I don't know, but we've talked about Frankie Montas tons. I like him. I know you really like Frankie Montas. We kind of made our points last episode about what he would bring to the table and whatnot. But again, just another big high leverage starter that the Blue Jays are clearly going after if these rumors are here.
Dude, I think I said it a million times already, is I absolutely love the guy. I love my Oakland organization. We all know that if you watch the channel, and I know what Frankie Montas can bring to this ball club. We don't have a lot of guys who throw 96, 97. Well, he tops that. He can throw a two-seamer that's 99. He might have I'm pretty sure he does have the fastest two-seamer with incredible movement in all of baseball. A splitter to die for. I mean,
the splitter is just nasty, man. Like, that's the pitch.
You're talking about a right-handed fireballer that is just a strikeout artist. Frankie Montas, if he was to start this year for our club, he would have more strikeouts than Alek Manoah. I am for sure of that. Working with a guy like Pete Walker, Montas is a guy who, I'm not saying his earned run is whip. He's going to give up hits. He's going to give up the long ball and walks like every pitcher does. But he is a strikeout machine. He is a definite ace on a battered Oakland team, and they're looking to ship him out. And we would be so fortunate to acquire him. And I mean, yeah, Lopez is good, but I'm telling you, Frankie Montas is the real deal. You put him in our Blue Jay Blues, and he's going to shine, man. He's going to be straight fire for us.
I think he's officially like our number one choice, right? If we have any of the trade targets right now, I think we wanted Montas more than Luis Castillo. I kind of really like Carlos Rodon, but Montas would be around for a little longer. And it seems like the Jays are going the cheaper rental route, so that could be an option they go. I don't know. Look, and it wouldn't surprise any of us either, too, if the Blue Jays just kind of went a direction that we're not even thinking, right? Like in 2015, when they added Troy Tulowitzki, no one was thinking we need another offensive piece. But as you and I both know, Troy Tulowitzki was kind of the glue to that 2015 team. So maybe the Blue Jays do something here. Maybe they get like Xander Bogaerts from Boston or something like that. Something just we're not expecting right now that could happen within these next 48 hours. I feel like it's going to get wild.
You know what? I go like that. Take a little off my tongue. That's a spicy one. I wouldn't hate it. It would definitely add another bat. That would probably be the comp to Tulowitzki right now. Now, mind you, Tulowitzki, even more of a veteran than Bogaerts Tulowitzki was at the time. But still, I get what you're saying, Jesse. Another power bat in this lineup of already amazing power hitters, a guy who can play a little bit of defense, at least, above replacement level. Yeah, dude. Less than 48 hours at this point to go before, it's all said and done in the trades, and we haven't even started. And I can tell you, we're going to make at least one good big splash and a couple of smaller things, I'm sure. Switch guys around. You could see us acquire another bullpen arm. A guy who's not going to,
honestly.
I'd be disappointed if we didn't have a back end guy at least. I think that's a must have, and I think it's a lot cheaper to get a guy like that than it is Montas, obviously, or Pablo Lopez. But I still think we got to go after a piece like that, and I wouldn't hate another depth outfielder either. And that's nothing against Raimel Tapia. Has been playing great ball as of late. I just wouldn't hate the depth piece.
Yeah, because we've seen Springer kind of battle his elbow injury here. Like, if he misses an extended period of time, then that means you're giving Tapia full-time at-bats, which he's been good lately, yes, but he could probably get burned. And then Bradley Zimmer's your next man up, and I don't think either of us want that going on here. So, look, let's try to temper our expectations here. I think we're both in agreement that the Blue Jays are going to 100% get a reliever of some kind, whether that's a elite hard-throwing guy towards the end of the bullpen, which is I think what we want. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Blue Jays try to go with little small pieces that are intriguing but haven't put it together. Are you going to be upset if we don't get a starting pitcher, but we get the other ones? Like we get a bench bat, we get a reliever, we get good relievers, or what's your expectation level? What I'm trying to say here for this Blue Jays team at this trade deadline?
My expectation level and what I think that needs to be accomplished is getting a back end bullpen guy and a starting pitcher. For me, it comes down to you're going to win more games than not getting a starting pitcher that throws you quality starts, no matter who that be, player A versus B, C, whatever. The starting pitcher's got to be number one. And then to help preserve leads, it's got to come bullpen second. But I think it's going to be easier to obviously acquire that bullpen arm, but I think it's got to be a 1-2 punch there. If they do acquire another piece guy for a position player, because I doubt they really go after, a high-paid starter who's not a rental guy at this point. I think maybe that's a stretch, but the two moves that I expect, and I really hope they get done, is a bullpen arm and a starting pitcher, and a quality starting pitcher at that. I think that's what really needs to happen here. And I'm not saying sell all the cows on the farm. I don't like selling the farm with the guys we got, but we're in win now mode, and that's kind of the price you got to pay sometimes when you are trying to acquire MLB talent.
Yeah, my expectations are like a reliever or two, honestly, probably is a must. I'd be okay if we don't get like an impact bat, but the Jays really should go get another impact bat off the bench or something. Just a guy who, if he had to get thrust into full-time playing time, could work. I thought David Peralta just got traded to the Rays would be a good fit there, but I don't know. If we don't get a starting pitcher, I think I'm okay, but Max Castillo's our sixth guy right now, and we don't have much depth at all behind them. So just pitching. Let's get it done. Riley, any last thoughts on the trade deadline here? I'm doing one last check for any breaking news. I don't see anything yet before we talk about the series that the Jays just did play against the Detroit Tigers.
And I'm sure as soon as we go off air here, then a trade's going to be made, and we'll let you guys know on Twitter. That's just kind of how things time out. Mm-hmm. But however, no, man, my thoughts are this. I think that we're not going to get worse after the deadline. Obviously, that's not the mode we're in, right?
No,
we're in win now mode. We're going for a push. We're going to acquire one or two players that are going to be in the benefit of helping us win ball games. It's not going to go the other way around. At this point, it's up to the rest of our guys to kind of carry that on themselves and win these ball games. I mean, you mentioned we're 12-3 after the All-Star break, or whatever. Yeah. Like So we're in win now mode. We're having a killer second half, man. So let's keep it up. That's all I got to say.
All right, good stuff. As we mentioned, it's going to be a crazy 48 hours. Now, let's get into the games that we just played. We did just win 3 out of 4 against the Detroit Tigers. So as you can expect, a lot of good stuff happened, a lot of bad stuff. Well, not a lot of bad stuff. More good than bad happened in this series. And Riley, I'm going to get into the recaps here. Game 1, the Blue Jays won this game 5-3 against the Tigers. This was on Thursday night. Matt Chapman had a double dong. Yusei Kikuchi made his return to the rotation and had 5 solid innings in his return. And that's a true Buds and Blue Jays baseball game right there, if you ask me. Game 2 was the game that I was at. Go figure, it was the one they lost. Matt Chapman went deep again. The final score was 4-2 in this game for the Tigers. The Jays didn't get any hits in this game from the 5th inning on, and Alek Manoah had to leave the game after, he got hit pretty hard as it was going, and then he took a comebacker off the elbow and had to leave the game. Now, it does sound like he's going to make his next scheduled start, which is always good. Game 3, Jays win this one 5-3. The Jays scored 1 run in the first and then exploded for 4 in the 6th thanks to a clutch 3-run home run from Teoscar Hernandez and some bad defense by the Detroit Tigers. Jimmy Garcia and Jordan Romano pitched 2 2/3 scoreless innings in relief to seal the deal. And Game 4, the one that happened this afternoon, was just a little over 2 hours long. It went quickly. Jose Barrios had 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run, only 80 pitches. Matt Chapman went deep again, and Jordan Romano got his AL leading 24th save of the season. So, as things stand right now, the Blue Jays are 57-45. We're 12.5 games back in the AL East, and we're still in that first wild card spot. So, Riley, lots of stuff to take away from that series. Where are you going first?
Well, I think I heard one name specifically in that. When this is a Buds and Blue Jays episode, Jesse, we talk about our guys on Buds and Blue Jays.
Sure do.
So, and let's go back to a couple episodes ago, Jesse. I didn't even say this. I think you were the one who let us off with Matt Chapman is going to have a great second half. And I'm sure I jumped all on board that. Well, Mr. Burrow, Matt Chapman has had an unbelievable second half so far. It almost makes me think, where was this? In the first 25 games to 40 games of the season, where we really saw his bat go cold, batting around the Mendoza line most of this year already. Pops off the double dong game, another home run to add. I mean, what can you say about this guy, Jesse? I loved when we acquired him, and clearly having a good second half like you predicted, man. I mean, I think it's just going to keep happening from here, man. Maybe not, 4 home runs in as many days, but I still think he's going to finish this year very strong. I definitely think he has the potential at this point to hit 30 home runs. I'm saying that. I think he's going to hit 30 home runs for sure, man, which is, kind of expected. Sure, we were beaking off at the start of the year. I said he'd hit, 47 or 48, which would have been awesome. I'm okay with a 30 club member. He certainly picked it up for me, man. Like, he's looking good. He's looking comfortable. It makes me think about how his hip was, but those pitches he hit out, I mean, they weren't even very hard hit balls that we've seen Matt Chapman hit. Maybe he needs to take those outside pitches and pull those over the left field wall, because I think those were 2 of his home runs for sure. Where he went down fishing a little early on them. Yeah. So, hey, whatever works, man. I saw him hit a double and a home run that were pitches around his neck. So whatever works for you, Chappie. Just love to see it, man. That's my first thumbs up, man. And who better to lead off the episode, Jesse? Now I got to post about my guy, and it's been a while. It's been a minute since we've had good things to say about this next fella, and I'm glad that we get to Jesse. Take it away, brother. What do you got to say?
I do want to throw some things about Yusei Kikuchi with that big lead in for it because he had the big start. But just before we get there, I do want to make some notes on Matt Chapman. Do you remember early in the season when he was like 15th in baseball in hard hit percentage, but he had like a 680 like OPS or something? Like absolutely ridiculous. That looks silly now. And we are way past his hip injury now. And since July 5th, Matt Chapman is hitting 384, 467, 815 with a WRC plus of 254. Absolutely insane. He's doing some stuff really well. So good to you, Matt Chapman. But to not bury the lead here, Riley, is Yusei Kikuchi back? Is he here? Is this the guy that was promised way back from Buds and Blue Jays way in the offseason? I don't know, man, but I'll let you know. 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 5 Ks. He did look the part in this series. Now, he did give up a leadoff double, but he started the game with 9 straight strikes. So after a guy who's been really battling his control issues, that's kind of the mindset you wanted to see. And I do want to take this one with a grain of salt, though. It was the Detroit Tigers. They are the worst offense in baseball, but he had a better start than Ross Stripling. He had a better start than Alek Manoah, for goodness sake. So his next start will be coming up against the Rays this series against Tampa. I want to see how he performs in this one before I officially say Yusei Kikuchi is back. But man, as a big Kikuchi stan, I like seeing this more than how he was earlier this year. That's for sure.
I love seeing 5 strikeouts to 1 walk. That is my favorite statistic because, I mean, we've seen him just explode with giving up base on balls and 9 straight strikes to start. Holy hell, man. That's very impressive for any pitcher, let alone a guy who has struggled finding the strike zone all year long. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna say Yusei Kikuchi's back either, but if we can get another start like that against, yes, the Tigers do have a poor offense, but let's not take anything away from the fact that Yusei Kikuchi was definitely hitting his spots in that game, man.
Yeah, it was great to see it. Riley, real quick for the rest of these here. How about Jose Barrios today? That gives a thumbs up from me as well. I don't want to say Jose Barrios is completely back, but these starts that he has put together, it's kind of letting you forget that pain that was the month of April, that was the month of May, where Jose Barrios was really struggling here. His curveball looked good again today, and he was actually getting a few swings and misses in this game. I don't have the exact number, but I know it was one of the good ones. And yeah, 7 innings, only 1 earned run and 80 pitches. Like, I'm starting to think we're never going to see a shutout by a Blue Jays pitcher again, because this was a prime opportunity for it to happen, but it didn't today.
Whip under 1, man. What can you say about Barrios for that too? Like, I mean, that's awesome to see. 3 hits and 1 walk, 6 strikeouts over 7. I mean, he was our opening A starter, for God's sakes. We should see this all the time. I'm not going to say he's back either. The same thing with Yusei. I'll say that give us a couple more of those, and I think we'll be fine, man. That's what we need. We haven't got that from guys like this in quite some time, man. It's good to say good things about these arms for us, man. We went out and we got them. They're here, and it's good to see quality starts from both those guys.
Yep. So let's get into some of the negative that took place over this weekend. And I did some research, Riley, on Bo Bichette. We tweeted it out from the Twitter page. I was just going to look it out. But I was sitting there watching the game with my parents on Saturday afternoon, and I was thinking, when was the last time we saw Bo Bichette get a fastball and absolutely crush it to the pull side? Like, Riley, off the top of the head, do you know how often that's been? Or when was the last time he did it?
I'm going to say, so we're in July. I'm going to say probably the start of this month.
Yeah, you'd think so, right? But I looked it up. I did some research. My guess. Bo Bichette has only hit 3 fastballs to the pull side for extra bases all year, and none of his home runs. He's got 14 home runs. None of them was a fastball that he hit to the pull side. In fact, Bo Bichette only has 2 home runs off fastballs this year, and both of them just squeezed over opposite field, the right field fence. So Bo Bichette really needs to start pounding these fastballs that are coming in, and on top of the just not swinging at pitches in the other's batter's box type thing and making good swing decisions. Like, Bo Bichette is talented. He is probably one of the most pure talented players on this team. And he just seems like he's in between now, or he's just constantly sitting on the off-speed pitches, and then he's not being able to turn on a fastball. And I would just really like to see Bo Bichette turn on another fastball sometime here soon.
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, the other side of that, let's be real here, is Bo Bichette can take a fastball the other way and absolutely send it on a rope for
Which is
extra
great.
bases too, which is great. But Jesse, I know what you're saying is you want to see all things fastball done by Bo Bichette. When that ball's on the inside part of the plate, instead of busting your lumber in on the hands, pull that ball for extra bases, which he has not done. Is he sitting on the off-speed stuff? Maybe he hits that stuff better. I mean, it certainly doesn't seem like it. Some of the stuff low in a way that he will swing over, or on the odd time he does hit it for extra bases, man. Bo Bichette, his pitch selection we know isn't top tier, but his bat to ball skill certainly is one of the best in all of baseball.
Yeah, and that still hasn't changed, as we've seen a lot from Bo Bichette this year. Let's get through this next one really quick. Riley, George Springer has been dealing with an elbow thing. He looks like he's in pain and distraught as he's going through these games. I'll cut through the mumbo jumbo. Riley, do you think we should put George Springer on like the 15-day IL just so we can make sure that elbow is ready and it's good to go and he's good for the second half? Or are the Jays just going to keep playing them even though he looks like he's in pain?
I mean, if you ask George Springer, I would say he would tell you, I'm sure, don't take me out of the lineup. I'm here. It's August. I got to be in this lineup. I think the wise thing, if we want to preserve him, if we do want to make late September games, if we do want to play in October, I think the best move might be to send him to the 10-day IL, just to make a move, man. And it's not going to hurt us. Tapia has been okay. I think for a short time that will do, because I don't want to ruin a play. Yes, we always say George Springer wrong side of 30, but his game is still great. We play amazing with George Springer in the lineup, and I don't think we can live with that for too long. I would like him to be in this lineup. Yeah,
we're going to need him come playoff time. That's the big thing we're trying to make, especially if the Blue Jays do add another outfielder. It would not surprise me to see George Springer take a quick IL trip here, just to get the rest, right? Just to make sure he's healthy. Quick note on Alek Manoah start here too. I don't have a lot to say. It's just Detroit was really stockpiling the left-handed hitters against him. We've seen the Yankees do this. We've seen the Rays do this against Alek Manoah too. And that seems to be the way teams are trying to beat him. He's been unhittable against right-handed pitchers this year, but lefties have given him some trouble. So I would just like to see Alek Manoah develop that changeup just a little more, just so he can be more effective against lefties, because it's hard to nitpick about Alek Manoah. He's been so good, but just something to watch for in his next start against left-handed batters.
I mean, not his best start. Anytime Manoah goes out, and it feels like every time he gives up four hits, that it's a bad Manoah start. Again, right. he gave up eight base runners in 5 1/3. It's not pretty. It's not great. It's a mediocre start. He ended up saddled with the loss. It is what it is, man. I mean, and then taking a comebacker off his arm, like you said, scheduled to make his next start. And again, I'm sure he'll bounce back. He is just made of rubber. He's going to bounce back so good, Jesse.
Yep, he should be just fine. I don't have a ton of news and notes here because we're just watching the Twitter feeds. We're trying to find trades. We're trying to see something going on. But Maximo Castillo was sent to AAA. Trent Thornton is up in his place. Maximo Castillo is going to be stretched out as a starter and will probably be the Blue Jays 6-man if something were to happen to one of the starters they currently have. JP Morosi tweeted the Jays have interest in Michael Fulmer, which he's not the guy out of the Tigers bullpen I would want to get, but he's a guy. And I don't know. He's been a closer. He's been fine, but you kind of want some more swing and miss. Michael Fulmer doesn't really provide that. The Buffalo Bisons hit another inside the park home run. That's the second for them this year. This time it was done by the speedy Otto Lopez. And talking about those Buffalo Bisons, Jeff Ware is now the interim head coach of the team, as their old coach, Casey Candelet, is now in Toronto as a bench coach. So Ware, who was previously the pitching coach for Buffalo, is now the head coach for the Buffalo Bisons. Any major takeaways there, Riley?
No, not a ton, Jesse. Our eyes are glued to our Twitter feeds. A great for Otto Lopez, a guy who I don't expect to be really a full-time big leaguer. If he does make it, I'm sure he'll be a very average player. If he is blessed with some good contact and some good, WOBA. Mm-hmm. I think that he'll do fine. I love him where he is, and I know he's a speedster, so an inside the parker, I'm not actually surprised at. Feel like a lot of our young guys, Jesse, have real good speed, so that's cool. We do have the fastest catcher in all of baseball, I think, too, with Gabby Moreno. So, okay.
All right. Well, so the Blue Jays will have an off day on Monday, which is wild because it's a holiday here in Canada, and I thought maybe the schedule makers would put a Blue Jays game there, but they don't. They're taking the travel down to the Trop. Maybe they got a rest from their beach party that they're having today. So good day to do that. Have the day off tomorrow to rejuvenate. But it'll be back to business come Tuesday, which will be after the trade deadline. So maybe this team will look completely different. I don't know. But here's how things line up right now. In game 1, it looks like it's going to be Kevin Gausman against Drew Rasmussen. Game 2 will be Yusei Kikuchi against Ryan Yarbrough. Now, we mention this every time the Blue Jays go to Tropicana Field. We hate the Trop. We should burn it down. The Blue Jays never play well there. But what are we thinking? This is a team that's right behind us in the standings. We always knew the Rays are going to be tough. How do you think we do in this 2-game series?
Well, we're going to burn down the Trop because we're red hot right now.
Yeah, buddy.
I can just see it, man. Like, I'm a full believer that, yes, we're on the road. We did very hot at home. So are we going to play as well at home as we did on the road? You know what? I won't say no. I say there's a very good chance. If the guys don't kill themselves drinking tonight, which I'm sure they won't, the boys will be responsible. This is a big thing, man. Hang out in Florida for a day, head down to Tampa, and I bet you we'll come out just fine out of this series for sure. I mean, what concerns me, and it's the reality of baseball, Jesse, is the fact that, Springer's dealing with, his injuries and his condition right now, and Manoah taking one off the forearm. It's a scary thing to think about injuries, man. And you knock on wood, you just hope for healthy play. You hope for wins. But honestly, man, at this point in the year, like, I don't really want to say it, but we can't afford a big loss. So we just got to play good, smart, fundamental ball and whoop Tampa's butt. Because they're on our heels. We gotta get fundamental ball in. And of course, Jesse, I don't mind a guy who hits a double dong in a game and follows that up 2 nights later with another jack. Guys like Bo's gonna come around, and Vladdy in this series, I'm sure, our big name guys that have been with our org forever. It's gonna be a Bo series. It's gonna be a Vladdy series on the road here. I can just smell it, dude.
I'll have what you're cooking because that sounds great. Let's get that going here. My official call is I think it's going to be a split, 1 out of 2. Maybe Kikuchi doesn't have it. Maybe Gausman gets BABIP to death again. And Ryan Yarbrough always seems to pitch really well against these Blue Jays. So could be something like that. But I'm kind of drinking the Kool-Aid a little bit. I think the team's going to make a trade. If it's some impact player, they're going to be rejuvenated. And we could be in for a big second half. And a little 2-game mini sweep against the Tampa Bay Rays would be a great way to start that.
I'm saying a sweep, man, and I'm going to say one of the games is going to be 9-4. I don't want to say double digits. I'm going to say it's a high-scoring game, and I'm going to say we take one 2-1. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think Gausman is going to be that guy who's on his game, man, and gives us 1-run ball over 7 innings.
All right, love it. Well, with that being said, that'll do it for our episode here today. Quick programming note. We are going to do one after the Rays series, but we might be able to sneak one up on Tuesday. I don't know. I'll talk to you about it, Riley. And if there are any big trades the Blue Jays makes, maybe we'll just talk about some around Major League Baseball. Who knows, or how it impacts the team. But if anything big happens, we will be here Tuesday evening to record that and talk about that. Until then, make sure you like and subscribe our video on YouTube. Leave us a 5-star review on Spotify and your other podcast platforms. And Riley, big news, Buds and Blue Jays, we're on Instagram now. So you can, we're going to be posting a lot of fun stuff on there. We had a nice picture of Matt Chapman. We had a nice Photoshop of our faces here. We've done some polls on the story. We've just done some cool stuff with Buds and Blue Jays. So if you're not on the Twitter and you want to be on Instagram, follow us there. You won't miss us there. And yeah, Riley, anything else to add before we get out of here today?
Yeah, I'll definitely take over that Instagram for a lot of the times. We're gonna do. I think what's gonna be big for us, and we want to hear what you guys have to say, all our followers. I know you guys don't always comment and things like that, which is totally okay. We love the support, anyways. But things like polls, we know that the people watch it know the game of baseball, and we would really love your input on what it is. If it's a 4-player pool, who do you like out of these 4 players? We love your feedback on that. Debates all over the place. Nothing more I love, man. Nothing more I love than a good debate from player A to player B to player C, whatever, man. That's what the game's all about.
Well, we'll be sure to get lots of that going forward here. Buckle up, Jays fans. Big things are coming for this team in the next few days, and I'm excited. I feel like a kid on Christmas, ready to go. Trade deadline's always one of the best days of the year, and I'm nervous but excited. Can't wait.
Yeah, I just opened my gift, and it looks like Frankie Montes, baby. Let's go.
Love it, love it, love it. See, everyone. We'll be back to recap the trade deadline. Let's go, Blue Jays.
Thanks a lot, guys.